You love to farm, but you're trying to figure out how to develop a significant off-farm income. Maybe this video is for you. The fact of the matter is, our target people that we work with are the ones who love farming. That's where their heart is. But they also need to develop some sort of non-farm income to go along with it. Obviously, the first answer, go to town, get a job. But then they're in town when they should be planting. Then they're in town when they should be harvesting. And so we continually do things at the wrong time, which costs us more money and makes us need a second job in town. The fact of the matter is, guys, there's a way that you can stay on the farm and you can continue to build an income simultaneously. I think often of one of our friends, a young lady from down in central Missouri, and she was in college when we first met. She did not want to go get a cubicle. In her words, the cubicle life was not for me. And she knew she was going to have to drive 60 minutes each way, but there wasn't room on the farm for her to go back. And so I know that through this business, she's had the opportunity to develop a significant business while simultaneously getting to stay on the family farm. And since she started, they've purchased a farm of their own. And those are the stories that drive us. That's what makes us do what we do. It's why we get up in the morning. It's why we share the story with as many people as we can. When Sheila and I got started in this, we made a conscious decision. The first decision that we made was we said, this we shall do. We didn't say we're going to try this for 6 days, 6 weeks, or 6 years. We just said we're going to do this because we felt a connection. We knew we had found our home. And so when we decided that we were going to do this, we started looking at how it was being done, and we said we're going to build a culture around the idea of helping other people. We're going to take what Zig Ziglar says, and that is that if you help enough other people get what they want, you will ultimately get what you want. We have embraced that as one of our core foundational values. So we started with that end in mind. The last 33 years have been a real blessing. We've had the opportunity to help hundreds of people improve their lives on the farm. We've seen what a difference we can make in the profit and loss. We've seen how we can improve the balance sheet. We look at the stories of lives change with people who thought they weren't going to be able to continue farming, and now all of a sudden they're flourishing and they're buying an additional farm. We've looked at the people who had a job in town and they said, I don't want to do this anymore, and they were able to leave that job. We look at the people who the husband was working 20 hours a day on the farm and the wife still had to have another job in town, and she was leaving the kids at daycare every day. There's nothing wrong with that if that is your choice. However, if it is not your choice and you're doing it because you have to, then we need to reconsider. And I think about the number of people who have been able to not have to go to town and be the ones who provide the care for their kids themselves. The ones that get to be there for every soccer game, for every baseball game, for every football game, for every choir concert. Because those are the things that matter to us. Faith, farming, family. And we love that family aspect, guys. And we're going to continue to build on that. That's one of the things I love about our team, is it's one giant family. As I said here tonight, at one of the fundamentals of agronomy, and when we got together, it was like that time when you get to sit down and talk to all of your first cousins that you haven't seen in 90 days, or that you haven't seen since last Christmas. And you just pick up right where you left off. That's the culture that we have here, and that's what's waiting for you when you decide to come with us. Started here. So, Mason, thank you for taking some time to talk with us here and to share with people who are thinking about, maybe I'd like to be a farmer dealer with a better way to farm. So talk to us. Why did you make that transition into the farmer dealer position with a better way to farm?
It wasn't because I wanted to. So I started using the products because that's all I wanted. Like I was looking for the seed treatment, and we got started trying it and had really good luck with it. And I'm like, well, this is cool. So we tried it again. And had neighbors like, okay, what are you doing different on that field? Because I can see there's a difference. And like, well, I'd try that. And so I said, well, all right, we'll talk to this guy that got me started. And next guy, hey, what are you doing different? And I'm like, all right, doing this. He's like, well, I want to try some. So I'm like, well, I might as well sell the stuff, I guess. And so that's kind of how I got started, literally.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. Oh, I love that. I know it's been really good to you. You guys have had a tremendous success run here, and it's fun to watch your team grow and do this. Now you're in a little different position. You did have some sales experience when you got started, which is an anomaly. There's less than 5% of our team that does, but talk to us. What did you have for sales experience before coming here?
So I did sell insurance before, well, a few years before this. But, you know, I always grew up on the farm, and like you think, well, the farm isn't going to, you know, support everybody. So you need to get an off-farm job. So I'd get an off-farm job, leave the farm, and I'd want to go right back. And so then I went back to the farm, and it's like, well, this isn't working. I need a different job. Did the sales insurance thing, worked really, really well. We had really good success with it. And then it's like, but I still want to farm. And you can't really do both. And so went back to the farm full time, like, this is what we're going to do. You know, no questions asked. And it was really neat. So I could do the farming, what I loved, and do this at the same time. And the sales experience, yes, was probably helpful, but I think just knowing that I can do both has really helped us out a lot.
Sure. Let's talk for a second. Talk about the training. You had sales experience, but talk to me, how important has the training been here in developing your success?
It's huge. I think staying plugged in has been a huge thing. I know when I first got started, the guys that got me going, they were always talking about this, about the company and this and that. And it's like, dude, don't you guys have anything else to worry about? Like, you know, is that all you think about? And thinking back, it's like when you stay plugged in, it's a lot easier to stay plugged in. If you take a week off or a month off, it's really hard to get back into it. So the training has kept me focused. It's kept me engaged, and just, you know, what's working, what's not working. We're all an open book, and that helps a lot. Something that works for me might be able to help somebody else with. If I'm struggling with something, someone else can help me get going and get that working.
And I think that's the beauty of having the whole team.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole beauty of it. I want to go back and take another offshoot of what you said there, though. You had another job, but it was either this job or the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk for a second. How is this working for you where you're doing the other job? You have the side income, which is significant, compared to the other, and yet you're still able to farm. You still got a cattle herd. You're still row cropping, right?
Yeah.
How is it that you're doing both of those?
I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing in the world, but it's something you need to do. Like, you know, I'm going to farm. There's no questions asked. But now that I'm in the sales side, I know people need what we're doing. And so I could make phone calls in the combine. I've opened many accounts in the combine. I've made a lot of recommendations in planting corn. I've placed a lot of orders planting corn. It's very doable to do both. It's seasonal. You know, we're doing winter meetings. You know, I can be a little more freed up in the wintertime. When I'm planting, everyone else is planting too. So we've already got a game plan. Everyone's got their stuff.
Cool. So last question, how has this changed your life?
Oh boy. So when we were farming, if we got ahead, you know, we would buy more cows or we'd trade tractors. And it kind of got to the point where my wife's like, well, you know, when do we get your shop? When do we get your house? When do we get ahead? And it's like, never really thought of it. Like, there is no plan. You just kind of stay in this cycle. And so that's when this was really nice, because we were actually able to get ahead. The farm was already doing its thing because we've got that figured out. And this has given us a lot of freedom to build the shop and trade the vehicles, or basically do whatever we want. And that's been huge. I mean, the things we never thought we would ever get, we have now.
That's awesome.
And that probably wouldn't have been if we wouldn't have done this.
So one last question. So talk to me, not only does this change your life, give me an example of somebody else's life that you have changed. Well, one story of someone that you've been able to change their life.
So I mean, there's lots of people that this has affected. We've had some people, they literally came to me and said, hey, I'm willing to do whatever you say. This is my last chance. Like this has to work. If it doesn't work, I'm in trouble. And that's a lot of weight on your shoulders, but I have enough trust because I've tested these products. I've seen what they can do. We're going to do this, this, and this. And they do it. And they see such a yield increase, they get to farm again.
Yep.
And then they call you one day and they're like, well, we traded planters. We bought a second round baler. And it's like, how is this the same person that they were a year ago? They're actually thriving now. And that's the really cool part.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time, Mason.
Yep. Thanks, Rod.
I think any time that we're looking at a new opportunity, we really have two fundamental questions that we need answered. Number one, does it work? Well, having seen the people that you've talked to or talked with you tonight, it's obvious that it works. It's working really well for them and they're doing great things. And the second question is, can I do it? Can I be the one who makes this go? And the thing that I think you've picked up from all three of these guys is the fact that they weren't sure in the beginning. They were trying to figure it out, but they learned how to play show and tell. And the answer is, beyond the shadow of a doubt, anyone who wants to can make this work. And we have hundreds of stories of people who make this work on a daily basis. You might as well be one of those stories. Hey, it's exciting to be here with my good friend Sam. Sam, as we're sitting here talking about some things with our business and so on, please tell me, what was it that made you decide you wanted to be a farmer dealer? Why did you become a farmer dealer with A Better Way to Farm?
Yeah, it was a very natural progression, Rod. And so we reached out looking for answers for our farm, and that was it. There was no desire to be a part of a farmer dealer. It was just, our farm needs answers. We need it fast. And we found those, right? And so then, and as I, over time, continued to be around the culture of the company and also saw the results that we got on our own farming operation, it really showed me that, this company and the way that we do things is different, but it has helped me tremendously. And I kind of was talking to my wife back at home, and I understood it, and the group of people I really enjoyed being around. And I said, we were in a really tough spot, and this team helped us. And so if I can find, I know others are going through that. And so if I can find somebody else to help, even if it's just one person, I feel like that'd be a worthy pursuit, because it's just, agriculture is what we know. It's what we breathe, on a daily basis. And so it was just one of those things to where it just kind of progressed, naturally. We saw an open door of opportunity, and we pursued it, and haven't looked back since.
Well, it's been really good to you, and I know you've done a great job of helping a lot of people. So let's talk about this, Sam. What kind of experience, what sales experience did you have before you started working with A Better Way to Farm as a farmer dealer?
Yeah, I had none. And that was, for me, absolutely zero. And I thought at first, like, that was a little bit of a headwind for me. But I remember talking to you, and that was one of the first conversations we had, was that I said, I'm not a salesman. And something that you told me, which I really related to, was that it's like, we're not looking for, quick one-liners or fancy sales. We're looking for authentic, legitimate people who are excited and want to play show and tell, right? Who want to go ahead and show and talk about their farm with other growers to help them out. It's like, well, we do that anyway, right? We're farmers that seem, when we get done farming, we go home and we watch other people farm on YouTube, right? That's all we talk about. And so that is absolutely just what it was. And you guys have, the team has provided the training every step along the way to help facilitate the growth that is necessary as the team grows. But it was never anything that we felt lacking in at all.
I think that's one of the real joys for me, is that we have a system down, and there's training for every step of the way. There's training when you get started. How do I use this? How do I implement it and become successful? There's training. I want to be a farmer dealer. What are my first steps? What do I do? And then once I've done that, and I think that it's a testimony to the team in that the weekly huddles have been critical for helping people to succeed at the speed they have. So specifically, tell me something about the training that you really like, that keeps you engaged.
Well, it keeps us engaged because it always keeps us centered on our core purpose, right? Because it's amazing that I get to be on the farm and to work with other growers across the country and not have to go to a board meeting or something like that, every single week or to be off farm. But it keeps us centered in the culture and the drive of the company of why are we doing this, right? And then it builds a sense of community, and we come, and it's a very open format to where we share things that are working, things that are not working. A lot of work that you guys do, you and Kayla and Karen do in the personal development, and you guys invest in coaching, and then in turn invest that into us, who ask nothing for it in return, just that we go and that we serve as many people as we can. And so those weekly huddles has been fantastic for our professional and our personal development.
I love those. One of my favorite things on the huddles is the opportunity to see you with your headset on in the semi or in the combine. And so that's one of my favorite parts. But I think that speaks to the fact that someone can join the team, and you can do this from where you are. Absolutely. You get to bloom where you're planted.
Yep.
So last question, let's talk about how this has changed your life.
Well, it's been a twofold thing. So first and foremost, it's changed our business life. because it helped turn things around at the farm. But we all know that for farming is a business and we have to be profitable, but we don't do it for the money. We do it for the legacy and we do it for the lifestyle. And when I, as a 6th generation farmer, kept coming home feeling defeated, lack of direction, confused, I was not showing up as my best self. I was not being the husband I promised my wife I would be. I was not being the, at that time, soon to be father that I wanted to be. Wasn't in the right headspace. And, you know, Dad and I, when we were struggling, we said that we didn't, we hated the job that we loved so much, is what we said. And so to get through that and to do the personal development, because it's not all sunshine and roses. I mean, there's adversity in farming, you know, it's still every day, but we have the tools, we have the team that we now know to attack those problems. And the mindset that, you know, difficulty and trials, it leads to growth. And that despite the fear and despite bad things going on, it is so essential and so important to take action in spite of that. And we're taking that forward in every area of our lives. And we love farming. You know, we have a future. We're planning for that, for Landon and Ava. And it's just been, it's been a blessing on so many fronts.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Sam.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Andy, I really appreciate you taking time to talk with some of the new people that are taking a look here. My question for you is, why did you become a farmer dealer with A Better Way to Farm?
My number one goal was to slow down on my custom work so I can spend more time with my family.
Interesting. Okay. So let's explore that just a second. You were doing a lot of custom harvesting, custom planting,
Custom baling and
custom
wrapping.
baling.
Yeah.
Oh, so we were working about 80 hours a week in the summertime,
Yeah, plus, yeah,
and the kids were asleep when you left and asleep when you got home.
a lot of times.
Awesome. So talk to us. Let's go with a little bit about that. How has this changed? Where are you at now?
I've, in 1 year basically of taking this dive into sales, I've basically eliminated the need to do custom work. So
That's awesome.
I'm still going to do some, but it's not a thing where now I have to say yes to everything.
So you're gonna be a little more selective in who you work for.
Yeah.
So if I've got 2 acres and I need to give you no notice, you're probably not coming.
Probably not.
There you go.
Show up.
All right.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. All right. So talk to us about this. How much sales experience did you have before joining A Better Way to Farm?
0.
None.
None.
Absolutely none. Fantastic. What was it
And
that
yet you've
allowed you to come in and in under 1 year become this successful that you could let go of that custom business?
The systems that they put in place for you to have success, the team around you helps you to gain the knowledge so much faster to be able to do this at a high level. Even if you're new in this, I mean, it does take work. You have to devote to it, but the people in place are there to help you to do this thing.
And that's awesome. And they have a vested interest in your success.
Right.
That's the cool part. So tell me about the training. How important are the weekly huddles? How important are the trainings that you have access to?
Oh, they're huge. I mean, just with everything that we do, there's a reason why. And in the huddles, we figure out why we're being told to do the things that we need to do. And then it's just implementing it. And if you implement it, it works.
It's kind of a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I see a lot of people, they start in a sales career and the company gets them started, they wind them all up and then just send them out the door with no direction. And here it's more the other way. There's not so much wind up, but there's a bunch of direction and you see what happens. Share with me just a success story, somebody that you didn't know that you got started and something that you've done to help them and how it's changed their life.
One of my neighbors has had troubles and just struggling with co-op bills, finances, and being able to help them figure out another way to do their operation has been very rewarding. You know, to be able to put them in a position to actually enjoy farming, where for the last 3 years they have not made any money, been losing money, been bleeding and wondering where they're going to turn. That's a fun thing to be a part of.
That is a lot of fun. Last question, Andrew, how has this changed your life?
Personally, I'm a better person. Financially, I didn't ever do this for the money side. I mean, I was hoping to eliminate the custom work, but we were fine. That wasn't why I did this. I didn't do this to become a salesman or anything. That wasn't the goal, but it's personally, I think, is the biggest thing for me, that I'm a better person now.
That's awesome. The personal development's kind of important.
Yeah, it's number one, I think.
And I think hanging out with 60 other people that are headed the same direction really helps.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love this team. Andrew, I just want to say thank you for taking the time, for sharing with the people who are watching. And we just enjoy watching your career as it takes off. I know there's some big things coming for you. The next 12 months are going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
So you're still here. Obviously, you're interested. So let's talk about what does it look like to get started. You need to get with the person who invited you to take a look at this video or sent this video to you and say, hey, I'm ready to go. I would like to get started with this. And when we do that, the first thing we're going to do is open an account. And then we're going to go to some training, because the key to this thing is that there's training every step of the way. When you get started, there's a training. As you build, there's a training. As you build a bigger business, there's additional training. There's also the weekly huddles that have been key in people staying plugged in and becoming successful. You heard some of the other speakers talk about that. The fact of the matter is, this process is simple. This is a very easy business to do. You're going to have to work hard at it, but it is a simple business to understand. Your next step, get a hold of who got you this video. And then when you do that, tell them, I'm ready to go. Guys, don't be a person who just kicks the can down the road. You saw the video, you're here for a reason. Let me encourage you, you take action right now. In the next 60 seconds, pick up the phone, call that person and say, hey, let's roll.